Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joe Onuk, and if this is your first time stopping by, thank you and you are very much welcome. So in case you're not subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channels and turn on your post notifications so that you get alerts anytime I actually do post the content. So guys, yeah, that being said, let's roll this in. So today's story is going to be quite emotional because this case happened like close to home. So this case actually happened to a 10-year-old boy who was a Nigerian and who came to the UK for a better life. So in case you don't know, I am Nigerian, although some people think I'm French, but I am actually Nigerian. And every Nigerian actually loves being called a Nigerian, despite everything that is going on. I am actually proud to be a Nigerian. So actually covering this case is gonna be quite emotional, and it took me like a whole week, more than a week actually, to actually focus on this case and try not to get angry in doing this case. So guys, before we go into this video, my usual disclaimer. I do not mean to disrespect anyone that is actually involved in this case. This case is only for educational purposes, and everything said in this is a compilation of things I actually got from the internet. So, thank you. So without any much further ado, let's get right into this video. Damilola Taylor was actually born in Lagos, Nigeria on the 7th of December 1989 to Richard and Gloria Taylor. He attended Wisdom Montessori School in Ikotun, Ketu, Lagos, before he actually traveled to the United Kingdom in August 2000 with his family to allow his sister Gbemi to seek help for her epilepsy. So his sister had epilepsy and the family decided to come to the UK just to seek a better life so that her epilepsy may be treated in a better condition, or maybe she should get a better life. So before I go into this, I'm going to give you guys a little backstory on Damilola, his family, and who everyone is. So in the summer of 2000, Damilola's family, they actually moved from Lagos, Nigeria to London in search of what people call a better life. So his mother Gloria, him, Damilola, his elder brother Tunde, and his sister Gbemi, they actually moved from Nigeria to London while his father stayed back in Nigeria.
Came over here with his family because of his sister, and I think, you know, they expected life to be good, but they also had a good life in Nigeria. So I think this would have been the last thing that they would have expected. I wouldn't imagine that they thought they would end up living on the North Peckham estate, but so it was probably a bit of a culture shock for them, because it wasn't a poor family coming here thinking, oh, you know, this is going to be the most amazing experience.
At this time, his father was working for the Ministry of Defense in Nigeria, so he was working with the government. So he had actually planned that, okay, later I'm actually going to come to London. He was going to join his family later in that year or the next year. It wasn't really stated. So yeah, so Dami's dad, I'm going to be calling him Dami because Dami is a short form for Damilola. So Damilola's dad, or Dami's dad, he was actually a very focused man that actually did everything possible for his children to have a good life and to have a better life. And that's how, like, most Nigerian dads are, the ones that actually really care for their family. So the family had moved to the UK for just barely 3 months when Damilola was killed. And he was actually killed on November 27th, 2000.
It was the crime that shocked the nation. 10-year-old Damilola Taylor had only been in the UK for 3 months when he was attacked by a gang of youths.
So Dami's dad described his son to be boisterous. He said that right from when his child was a baby, that his son was always smiling, and he had this charisma of actually being loved by everyone. Everyone who knew Dami actually had no other choice than to love Dami.
The young person, you know, Damilola was lovable by everybody. You know, he smiles like you. You can see from his picture that he's always smiling.
Dami loved playing football, and Even his coach, Dominic Welch, said that Dami always called him uncle every time, that Dami was a loving boy and he actually had massive respect for everyone. So Dami was doing so well in school, and he was even a goalkeeper for his school.
In Peckham, Damilola was doing well at school. He was a good goalkeeper, and that helped him to fit in with his new classmates.
Someone that had just moved to the UK for just 3 months was already a goalkeeper, and that just showed that this guy had great potential and everything.
He anywhere he is, he wants to be noticed. He wants, because he's doing good things. He was doing the positive things. He's taking part in activities. He always relates with the elderly people, those who are older than him. I think he's a very old boy. I'm sure, that boy is not, it's not ordinary.
Dami's dad actually said that he actually wanted Dami to come back to Nigeria and stay with him. But as everybody would, Dami insisted on staying back in the UK because he actually enjoyed himself in the UK. So he actually wanted to have his education in the UK. And his dad allowed him. So Dami's dad, it was also reported that Dami's dad also said that Dami had complained about some young boys in Peckham, that they came to him and they asked him to be part of a gang, and they used to harass him, they used to intimidate him, mostly because he was new. So yeah, when I came to the UK newly, people used to call me Freshie. But that's it. So on the 27th of November 2000, Dami actually left Peckham Library at about 4:51 p.m. in order to make his way home. So he was actually captured on CCTV as he actually walked away from the library, and this was when everything happened. So Dami was actually approaching North Peckham Estate when he was actually stabbed in the leg, and he was stabbed with a broken glass. So he actually ran up a stairwell, and that was when he died. Anyway, some sources actually said that he died at the stairwell, that's where he collapsed and he died within 30 minutes, while some sources said that he was just unconscious there, and when he was unconscious, when the ambulance came to pick him, he died on his way to the hospital. So I actually don't know which happened, but Dami died within 30 minutes, basically. So he was just 10 days from celebrating his 11th birthday. He was just 10 days, and I'm very, very sure he must have been anticipating that time. Anyways, there were different forensic scientists that actually presented different possible events that may have happened that day, but the police only took one, and that's the one everybody basically took. So the theory that was actually widely accepted by the Metropolitan Police is that he was attacked and he fell on a broken glass. So that's the one the police chose to pick, and I'm very happy that he picked that. So they were like, he was attacked and then he fell on a broken glass, and that's how he actually bled to his death. You guys, I'm getting emotional, but let's go on. So let's go to Dami's dad and how he took this news. So Richard, that's Dami's dad. I'll be using his name Richard, and his mom's name is Gloria. So yeah. So Richard, Dami's dad, he was actually still in Nigeria when he actually got a call from his eldest son, and his son called him to tell him this devastating news. So according to Richard, he fainted, like he collapsed, and yeah, because this news was so heartbreaking.
The day I got the news, it was so devastating, because I was back in my office in the Ministry of Defense in Nigeria, and the phone call came, and I got a call that he was stabbed the night previous. I collapsed.
So after that, he actually quickly flew to London to see how everything was going. And then he actually went to the spot where his son was actually bled to death. He actually spoke movingly at his son's press conference, which was just a day to the burial. So guys, let's go into the trial. So the trial took 6 years. 6 years for these perpetrators to be arrested. And they had 3 separate trials. 3 separate trials had to happen before those who killed Dami were brought to justice.
The investigation cost nearly £16 million, took nearly 6 years and 3 trials to finally convict with his manslaughter.
So now let's go into the first trial. So in 2002, there were 4 youths that were actually arrested, and 2 of these youths were 16-year-old brothers. So they actually went on a trial to the Old Bailey for the murder of Dami, and the trial led to the whole 4 suspects being acquitted. So in case you don't know what acquitted means being free from a criminal charge by a verdict of not being found guilty. So they were actually not found guilty. So 2 of these people were actually acquitted because the prosecutor had actually brought a 14-year-old girl to come and testify against them, but the judge didn't find her testimony to be reliable. So since there was no much proof or much evidence that 2 of the boys actually committed the crime, they actually got acquitted. So they were actually free from this crime. So the defense, they actually presented an evidence that suggested that Dami's wounds were actually consistent with him falling on a broken bottle, and that he had actually not been a victim of an attack. So remember when I said that people presented theories as to what may have happened to Dami when they said that he was attacked and then he fell on a broken glass. So the defense, they removed the part of being attacked and then they put the part of him falling on a broken glass. So that's what they were stressing on, that there are theories that said, oh, he fell on a broken glass, and they removed the fact that said that, oh, that Dami was being attacked. And obviously there will be a difference of you falling on a broken glass and being attacked. That's what I think, because if you fall on a broken glass, I don't think the pressure will be as much as you being actually attacked. And Dami what actually killed Dami was the fact that this cut was so deep that it actually tore an artery in his leg. Honestly, if somebody had told me that stabbing you in the leg would actually kill you, I would be like, that's not true. Like, the leg is just leg. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So honestly, I don't even know why you would even want to defend such a case when everything was just so out there. But anyways, let's get right into this story. So speaking outside a Bailey court, Dami's dad swore. He vowed. He was like, see, I am going to bring the people who killed my son to justice. He was like, I'm going to continue fighting for justice, and I'm going to make sure that the people that killed my son, they are going to be found. And I'm very, very happy this one did not give up. So Dami's family, the Taylors, they were in so much close contact with the police and the prosecutors. Like, they did everything possible because they wanted their son's justice and they wanted their son's killers to be brought to justice. I just said rubbish. The police, they actually had setbacks and everything in bringing these people to justice. But the police too, they vowed, they were like, see, we are going to keep this investigation open and we are going to bring these people to justice. We are going to find out who killed Dami. And I'm very happy this wasn't a closed case, even after what the judge had said. So they brought in new DNA techniques, and then they identified Dami's blood on the trainer of another boy called Daniel Preddy. But Daniel Preddy wasn't part of the 4 suspects that were brought to court earlier. So this actually made the police to re-examine the case, and then they actually obtained evidence from the time of Taylor's death. So in 2005, that's like 5 years after Dami's death, fresh arrests were actually made, but this time the arrests were made on the terms of manslaughter instead of murder. So yeah. So the people that arrested were Hassan Jihad, who was 19, and 2 Preddy brothers who was 16 and 17. But at this time they could not be named because of their age, so they were just arrested and they could not be named. So this actually led to a second trial. In case you don't know, I don't know if it's done in Nigeria, but over here and in the US and in, I think, Australia, most of these developing countries, if you're less than 18, if you're not up to 18 and you commit a crime, because of safety reasons or whatever, they do not name you when you're being tried. So they could actually name you as person A or person B. But once you're 18 years old, your name will come out. So I don't know if you understand. Anyways. So on the 23rd of January 2006, Jihad, who was at this time 21, and the two Preddy brothers, who was at this time 17 and 18, actually appeared at the Old Bailey to face charges of manslaughter and assault before the start of their imminent trial. So the trial actually commenced on the 24th of January 2006. So in the trial, Alastair Wilson, who was an associate clinical director at the Royal London Hospital and one of top Britain experts, testified that he thought that Taylor had died after falling on a shard of glass. On the 29th of March, the jury retired to consider its verdict. So on the 3rd of April, Jihad was cleared by the jury of all charges in relation to Dami's death. So Jihad was actually proclaimed innocent and he was cleared, but the Preddy brothers, they were set free but they were not cleared, and they were set free but with the possibility of a retrial on the same charge. So they were just set free to go while investigations still went on. But Jihad was actually like totally set free. He was found not guilty, but the others, they were just told to go, and then there would be a possible retrial on the same charge. So a retrial was actually announced on the 6th of April. So the retrial of the two brothers actually started on the 23rd of June that same year. And at this time, the two brothers were over the age of 18. So now they were made known to the public, and they were known to be Danny Preddy and Ricky Preddy of Peckham and South London. Both of these defendants were very well known to the police because they were actually involved in multiple robberies. So on the 9th of August, Ricky and Preddy, after a 33-day trial, they were actually convicted of the manslaughter of Damilola Taylor. Yay! So the retrial, it was actually noted that the police did follow procedure in collecting evidence, and obviously there were some lapses that actually occurred in the prosecution. But anyways, the police, they had done their job, and then these boys were actually found guilty. So on the 9th of October 2006, an Old Bailey judge actually sentenced the Preddy boys to 8 years in youth prison for the manslaughter of Damilola Taylor. So yeah. So it was widely reported that Taylor's parents, they were like not satisfied with the sentences that were given to them, because obviously if it's me too, I don't think I would be satisfied. So they actually wished that their sentences was longer. But at this time, the judge took time to explain everything to his parents. So the judge's name is, I don't know if you see her live, but the judge's name is Mr. Justice Goldring, which is so convenient. So he went to some lengths to actually explain to Dami's parents the factors that was forced to take into the account. So this actually included the age of the offenders at that time, because they were just 12 and 13 years. 12 and 13 years. 12 and 13 years. And you attacked someone. 12 and 13 years. And he also said that there was actually no evidence to suggest that they had planned to kill Taylor from the start. And also the weapon that was used had not been carried to them. So maybe they just saw it at the scene of the crime and then they just used it to stab the young boy, who didn't know that 30 minutes out of walking of the library, he was going to be dead. So both boys, they were set to be paroled in 2010 after they served half of their sentence. Half of their sentence. So Ricky was actually released on the 8th of September 2010, but he was subject to probation supervision, and he was also subject to recall to custody if he actually breached his condition or if his behavior was a threat to the community. So Ricky was reported in 2010 to have told his mom, that's Dami's mom, that he was actually deeply sorry for the death of his son, and he was actually sorry that he actually killed Dami. So his brother was released in prison the following year in 2011. And yeah, that's the last we'll hear of Danny. I don't know why I keep on calling him Danny. So Ricky was actually recalled to the court on the 13th of March 2011 because he was seen in Peckham associating with some gang members, and this was actually contrary to his parole conditions. So they rearrested him, and then again he was released on the 25th of January 2012. So he was again arrested 16 days later in February 2012 after he was associated with gang members in Peckham again. So they rearrested him 16 days later because they actually found him with gang members. And again, he breached the terms of his release. So Taylor's father, he actually called for a public inquiry into handling the case. Ricky Preddy was actually released again in June 2012, but then again, he was jailed again in December 2013 for 5 months following high-speed chase in a stolen bike. So in November 2017, he was jailed again for 6 weeks, and this was because of driving offenses, and then he was given additional 4 weeks in jail because he did not show up to his court hearing. In February 2020, he was jailed for 4 years for driving into a female police officer. So he's in jail currently and is going to be in jail for 4 years because he drove into a police officer. So now, guys, my own contribution. So basically, honestly, when I was writing my notes, I wrote no comments because I didn't want to say anything about this case. But I'm very sorry. In this case, I'm going to go religion. I'm going to go towards the part of religion. Yeah, so basically, yeah. So, you know, guys, I don't have what to say about this case. When I just think about it, I don't have what to say about this case, honestly speaking. But this is something that would have been avoided. Also, this can happen to just anyone. I know most of us here are not Christians or anything, but whoever you serve, when you're leaving your house, commit it to whichever God you serve. And yeah, basically that's just all I can say. That's from the aspect I'm going to go, because honestly, it takes a second to die. So we should just commit our day to God. And yeah, people die every day. The best Christians die every day. The best Muslims die every day. But at the same time, there's something called grace. So commit your going out and your coming in to God, because you can go out and then you're not sure of coming in. So commit everything to God. And yeah, that's just all I can say, because honestly, this case made me so emotional. And honestly, like, I felt so emotional. I still feel so emotional and everything. But yeah, guys, we are done, and I'm so happy. I'm proud that we are done. Anyways, kindly subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this. Like this video, subscribe, comment if anything you guys want me, any story you guys want me to touch on. And yeah, and when we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will start doing post notification gang. If you want post notification, you have to like write something in the comments and then hashtag post notification gang, and then at the beginning of every story, I'm going to read out your comments. And as usual, the references to what I use will be linked down in the description box, so you can feel free to read and watch whatever you want. And thank you, and I really hope this was very satisfying, because damn, I felt so emotional, like the tears were here, like they're about to come down. But I'm so happy that I've done this and I've gotten it out of the way. And please, don't find the need to take someone's life. You're not the one giving people life. You have no right in this world to take anybody's life. You have no right. You didn't give the person life. You didn't even give yourself life. So you have no right to take anybody's life, basically. So, that being said, see you guys later. I love you guys so much. Bye.